Okay, let's get to it. Only 5 minutes late, so that's pretty good actually. I believe so. Let's hide this thing. And then I guess we're a little bit stiff after the summer. But as always, there's some technical difficulties, and then we've been chilling, enjoying vacations and whatnot, and same for you. So I hope you found your way to the old Riga because you're here. Makes sense, right? Cool. So we're a little bit stiff, yeah. So the slides were prepared by Edgar's, but now we decided that Uldis will speak. This is how we do things. We're kind of easy on this. At the same time, we are super professionals. Yeah, don't get confused. All right. So today we have a big day. We have a few people still arriving. There are a few seats, but the room is full, which is amazing. Let's get to the basics. So what we have planned for today? Where's my name? So we will start with Eduards, but before we get to that, then there's going to be a little intro. We will talk about a few very important things. Then we will have a lightning talk by Aldis Greitāns from, I'll say, from Riga Business School, but probably he will introduce himself differently. Then we will have a break without pizzas. Sorry for that, so we're a little bit stiff. We forgot to update this board. Then we'll have the second part with Jānis Ziediņš from public sector with the best stories we may have in Latvia, kind of with the best source person of the best source. You'll see. Then part 3 we'll see how lively you are and so on. Yeah. We start with one of today's sponsors is AI Studio. I'd say more of this is a collab event, not just a sponsor. So Kaspars, a few words from you as a AI Studio director.
Yeah. Hello everyone, my name is Kaspars. I'm the director of AI Studio, which is a co-project with our Riga Business School and IT cluster. Our main mission and what we do, we are the first contact point in Latvia for SMEs that want to implement artificial intelligence in their processes or whatever. We try to find the way where they can start and push them to the next level. We also do AI workshops to put on really strategically see what are the low-hanging fruits and how companies have to look at that. And for you, develop society, if you are interested in displaying maybe your technology, AI free marketing, contact me in a break room, or if you have any skills that potential companies would be required in those workshops that understand that you're the specialist there, and I can invite you to. Sorry. Only the end's gonna be. It's good. It's just the 5 final words. So yeah, meet me at a break room, so we can build up the team to bring AI implementation in Latvia. So yeah, thanks. That's
cool. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being here. And then, big thanks to Evolution. First of all, a big applause to Evolution as also the event sponsors. Great, thank you. Is there anyone from Evolution Engineering? Then all.
They're all still at work.
Probably. Well, what? Marcis from our core team is from Evolution Engineering, but for some reason he couldn't get here on time. Okay, thank you, Evolution. Then the general partner, it's the full year partner. We started collaborating back in starting from January. Yeah, so this is already 4th or 5th event with their help. And then I wonder, should I just?
Next and
Yeah, let's see. They are coming with gifts today, and this is their gift. One thing I should check. Did anyone check the sound? No, of course not. So we're a little bit stiff, as I said, but the sound is on. I hope it's gonna just magically work. I hope very, very much for that. Let's see. Do we have the sound? Maybe you need also somewhere there. Here?
yeah, we just play
Music level. That's on. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
Hello, candidate 137.
What? Where am I? Who are you?
Relax. This is Arvada Systems Latvia, where we solve the world's problems, the ones no one else even sees. You can think of us as the system behind the system. From cloud infrastructure to AI-driven decision-making, we empower digital leaders and make sure global enterprises stay fast, smart, and future-proof. We quietly run the world across multiple industries. Public and private sectors rely on our digital solutions to keep services seamless, so nothing slips through the cracks. We create smart AI tools like HR assistants that answer millions of questions so humans don't have to. From gate monitors to security systems, we prevent IT meltdowns that could ground flights and disrupt travel. We implement DevOps that prevent your favorite streaming service from buffering at the worst moment. Cyber threats never take a day off, and neither do we. Our digital defenders keep digital environments secure around the clock. Our office in Riga is a place where missions are completed together, where like-minded people gather and solve important tasks, sometimes purely for fun, and where collaboration and growth are fostered. Problem solving isn't just part of the job, it's the whole mission. But you're free to do it your way. Masters of the Unseen, Arvada Systems Latvia.
Cool. You could have just reached out on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but where's the fun in that?
Okay, thank you. This is not my YouTube history. This is not, okay? Indeed. This is, okay. But why it's not happening? Let's do like this. Okay, then did I hear applause for Arvato? Yeah, thank you for being with us. She is somewhere there, the key representative. If you're looking for a job, I have no idea are they hiring, but you saw the video. They are. So yeah, find the lady and discuss your future if you want to. Then, as always, big thanks to Workland here. Thank you. Great, amazing. We can't wait for the day when you will be 100 people, and then we will be allowed to move to the new premises. So that's on you guys. All right, then who are we? As I said, where's my name? Finally, that's Uldis. Then we see Edgar's here. We see Vilmars, who just wrote in the chat that the stream froze. You see, I have AI chip in my head. Is it up? Is it okay? Is the stream okay?
Yeah, all good.
You see, the AI, it's not really that great. I can see the chat, but I can't see the stream. the useless piece of. Then Muratan just answered me. And we have Nadia over there. Thank you, Nadia. We have Marcus, who is always that shady person who shows up late and leaves early, but he has always seen and heard everything, one of those people. And then we have Heta, who is not with us today. She's typically a photographer. Heta, we miss you. We haven't heard from you in a while. Where are you? All right. Then, who are the organizers, like the companies? Then we have right now 3 who are not, who are proud to put their logo on the slide. I just showed you 7 people. So there's actually a few more companies behind us, but thanks Evolution, thanks JK Technologies, is that right? Yeah. And then IS, that's me, that's Vilmars, by the way. Then who are you, who are us, the community? Why we exist? We want to socialize and network. That's what we do over the breaks. That's what we did during the while you were waiting. So that's allowed. Okay. Then we want to grow. We are right now 1,628, 29, 30, 30. Knowledge sharing. We like to share, everyone is here, you will listen to 2 amazing topics today. Then happier dev specialists, because they are always happy, they want to be happier. And then better AI practitioners, because they are good and they want to be better. Finally, the impact, more effective, more efficient, more sustainable, and more personal growth. So, have you seen this poster on LinkedIn? Well, basically yesterday. Quite a few people, yes. I'm testing right now. Does the LinkedIn actually work? It's kind of not sure. Great. So we are open for mathematically 3 more. Wait, someone just called. 2 more volunteers to join us. We don't get paid for this. Are you? He's honest. Yeah, we're here for fun. We like to bring you cool stuff, and we're open to take in a few more people. Join us, find us here, find us on how to connect with us. There's the big Slack group, which is right now 615, not more. Then we do have the LinkedIn page. We do have a Facebook group or page, or we don't know why we keep using that. It's completely dead, but we put there our events. Cool. Then the meetup, that's the most important place. All the latest updates are always there, the most important ones. And then, of course, we have the website, which hasn't been updated since 2000. Which one? Which year? Early. Do not try to hack it, please. Please don't do that. It's WordPress, but you know that already. Okay, so if you want to get on the stage and share your story, then definitely contact us, find on the DevOps.lv, find a place for speakers or something like that, submit your talk there, we will get in touch. Then for sponsors specifically, tonight we're packed. The 2 one-event sponsor, yeah, the 2 one-event sponsor slots are taken. We do not allow more than two sponsors for a year. I'll move forward. That was, we just cut, yeah, okay. But anyhow, organizations, you're welcome to get here, get on a stage, get on a website, get on a poster, get on a media, on our media, welcome. Yeah, that was the intro. Thank you for support.
Moral support. Yes.
And then we move on.
Move on, yes. We can start with our first speaker, Eduards Ruzga, the former staff engineer at Prezi, thank you. Current co-founder of Desktop Commander, and with his talk, you can set up Babel. And his talk, how MCPs, AIs, and CLIs are changing knowledge work. So give a big hand of applause to Eduard.
Okay, so yeah, I was already introduced. My name is Eduards Ruzga. Let me hide this thing a little bit. Yeah, so I am from a company called Desktop Commander. I'm co-founder, and today I will be speaking about how MCPs, AIs, and CLIs change the knowledge work. And I have a question. I did spoke about this a little bit at the start of the summer on previous event as a lightning talk. Who saw that? Okay, some people are here. Just out of curiosity, who of you remembers what MCPs are after it? Okay, and keep your hand if you're using any. Okay, there are users, a little bit. Okay, just getting a temperature of the room. So yeah, a bunch of people don't know. Okay, so what we're gonna do today, I will tell you what MCPs are, how they're different from REST APIs, how they're kind of similar to command line interfaces and terminal, and I will show a couple of demos and take questions. In the middle, we'll see how the time goes. So MCPs, I did tell that about that at the beginning of the summer, but I will get us a little bit into context. So what that is. They are described a little bit today as a USB-C for AI. In a terms, it's a way to connect everything to everything. And this is standard published by Anthropic in the end of 2024. And it has two parts, servers and clients. Servers have three things today defined in the standard. It's tools, prompts, and resources. By resources, they mean all kind of data, documents, and this kind of things. And then there are things that clients can provide to servers when they work with the clients. And clients, I mean like ChatGPT is a client. But agents are also clients. Anything that is basically AI doing some kind of work is considered a client by the standard. So by the standard defines a couple of things, root, sampling, and elicitation, but we're not going to go into this today because it's not yet used too much. So we will focus more on this side. So tools, prompts, and resources. Jumped ahead of myself. So basically, clients are AIs. Servers are providers of data and capabilities to AIs. And tools, they can make calls, prompts is how to work, and resources, files. I already went through this, but it was done in the end of 2024. All that craze started in the end of 22 when ChatGPT came out. And maybe some of you who work with AI may question then why is MCPs needed? Is this actually new? And to some extent you are right, because in 2023, OpenAI released a couple of things, some of that caught up, but it was not enough. They firstly released around April to June function calling, its ability of how to describe tools to AIs so that AIs can use them. And another thing, they released custom GPTs at the end of 2023, and with them they released actions. Actions was kind of an extension of it. It's how to describe your REST API so that AI can use it. So this is the things that OpenAI released, but they didn't caught up too much. Basically, the only ones who use that part is OpenAI, no one else. And function calling, that one did caught up. All LLM models today support, like, let's say, useful LLM models support function calling. But it was not enough. What is different from this from model context protocols to what OpenAI did so far, that Anthropic released it with SDK defining both servers and clients, which describe the whole thing. It's like browsers and websites. The whole thing, the whole protocol of how everyone should communicate with everyone and provide everyone the resources. So one way to describe it is that even after everything that OpenAI released, situation was still on the left. If you want to provide a tool to AIs, you need to write for each client separate integration. While if you want to use tools, you need to integrate all tools separately as a ChatGPT. What the context protocol allowed was to implement the protocol, and now every browser speaks with every website, and every website works on every browser, which means that all the servers work on all the clients that support the protocol, and all the clients need only to implement the protocol to use all the MCP servers. That's it. Everyone connects to everything. This was the main part, plus it was open source. They released SDK, and it kind of like slowly went until March. Then there were some conferences, and then actually went kind of to stratosphere, because by now it's bigger than even this. We have a lot of clients, some kind of marketplaces, a lot of servers, and what is even more interesting, Microsoft, OpenAI, and Google by now in parts of their ecosystem support MCPs. And it's very hard to make those companies support someone else's standard. So this is what kind of happened throughout this year, and the protocol by now is 7 months old. So yeah, this is kind of like how the thing kind of went. So, but how is it different from REST APIs? This is an interesting thing that I wanted to bring up, because it's not only that it's standard that allows to connect everything to everything, there is also a couple of differences. Because actions from custom GPTs allowed to do something similar, connect to any REST API on the internet. But it didn't work very well. Most of you probably never heard about this part. And I want to show you a reason of why. I actually have a custom GPT on which I tested some of this thing. I called it Git Chat, and it's a custom GPT in ChatGPT that connects to GitHub. And here I wanted to show you a quick demo about it. Let me see. So yeah, here is a ChatGPT, and here is a custom GPT. It actually connects directly from ChatGPT to GitHub. There is no my server in the middle. And we can ask something like, what are most popular AI repos this week? So this is the function call, but it's the REST API. It already got a response from the GitHub, and it tells like, yes, okay, this week this are the most popular repos around the, by the way, the second one is MCP servers list. And yeah, others. Interesting, Firecrow, the scraper, and internet search thing is third. Okay, so, but I cannot show you here what's the problem with it is, so let's go actually have here the config of it. And I can show you a little bit of how it works internally. Here I have API GitHub com actions. And here is the OpenAPI descriptions, which is just description of the REST API with prompts included. This is what OpenAI did at 23. And we can test it here, and here we can see what actually is happening. So let's ask the similar question again. What is most popular repos about AI this week? Let me try to zoom in a bit. Actually, probably this way. So here I can actually show you the bug. It's a bit unfortunate they don't show this kind of things inside of ChatGPT. So this is the call, this is the function call to the tool, and this is response. And you probably already see a problem with REST APIs. This is not something that AI wants to see. AIs are closer to us than to code. They prefer conversational text. When you give them something like this, they get, let's say confused in that sense. And this is why REST APIs didn't work out of the gate. REST APIs are made to be used by SDKs, by code, by like application layer, not by LLMs. This is how OpenAI's things work. So I asked for give me best repos. This is a bunch of stuff I'd get. And it's kind of hard to even modify REST API because consumer of REST APIs is actually the client. It's not LLMs. They were not made for LLMs. So this is what I wanted to show. And sometimes it just doesn't work. I wanted to show one other example where, like, if you ask for a diff that is big, it will just say, no, sorry, I'm not working with your data. So by the way, here is the link to this thing. You cannot click on it, but you can get the QR code of this presentation if you want the links. I will have some links, so if you're interested, I will give you a second to take a. And maybe I can also answer a question. Does have one question? No? No question so far. Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
you had an example in like one slide before there, you had like lines showing up where MCP was in the middle on the, right, and on the left there are many lines. But on the left there was a Slack icon under there. And on the right there was Google Drive. So what changed?
Nothing. I just was showing all kinds of connectors. So
I just wanted to show that I really watched it.
Yeah, thank you. In small details up to all the logos and detail, I should be careful. So anyways, what we learned so far. REST APIs, they work with normalized data that is unconnected, that's not in context, that is considered made to be consumed by code, while AIs actually prefer more conversational and denormalized data, more closer to how we think about it. It should be connected, it should have a story, important things should be collocated, not somewhere else in the table or whatever. And the MCPs can be written in a way that it's still going to be failing like this. But as you make MCPs, you think more about an AI and you tune it more. And this is why MCPs usually work slightly better. They are more efficient for working with AIs. It's another way to expose your APIs and data to them. So this is where Desktop Commander comes in. Desktop Commander is MCP I wrote 7 months ago. And I guess the one way to put it is that it provides computer as a tool to AI. This is something that we released, and it consists of 2 parts. It consists of the file system, so it can have a whole system level search for files and in the files, and it can do read, write, and edit commands. It gives ability to AI to do any kind of read, write, and edit on the files, and on collections on files, hierarchies of files, and anything. And then there is a second part, it's terminal and processes, because we give AI access to start, interact, and terminate processes. And this is a very powerful combination because it actually allows it to write code, run code, debug code, fix code, and run code against the data, which we will see how this actually changes what you can and what your agent or AI or client can do. So this is where I want to show you a demo now with GitHub, Desktop Commander and GitHub. Let me show you. This is a wrong one. So what I have here is that there is. I actually wanted to do it differently. Oops. You have GH client on this machine. Do I have it turned on? No. Check what this PR is about, pull the diff of it, and tell me what was done there. This is something that's not yet merged, an ongoing work for Desktop Commander. Let me zoom in again a little bit, so we see a little bit better. So this is Claude, competitor of ChatGPT. I have my MCP in there. And this is how they show the calls. And you can see that here I'm working with terminal and I'm working with GH. GH is a command line interface for GitHub. And it's checking that it's there. And then it starts to interact and work with it further, like, hey, get me the pull request, starting more processes, and starting to tell me, like, let's actually check. Where did it pull the, so it got the description of pull request and got the actual diff in here. So that part works, and then it describes what happened and what was done. That there was search manager introduced, that it's session-based, some tools were removed, some tools were added, so it can have full understanding of the pull request. And considering it's actually running it this way, it can write code for itself to work with it differently. So let me do this again. And a little bit more about MCPs in that sense, that in case of Claude Desktop, you can add MCPs. You can see that I have Bright Data, which is a scraper. There is Desktop Commander. There is MCP for working with Docker. And yeah, approximately that's how it works. I wanted to show you another example to explain some differences. So, and it's about data and databases. So as I said, AIs are better at conversational thing. When you try to work with the DLM and some kind of data, it's CSV, XLS databases, problem is it's denormalized It's unconnected. It's just a bunch of data. Just imagine if you are printing a bunch of tables as a bunch of long lists and then like searching through IDs, trying to connect things. It's very, very hard. That's not how we think. That's not how AI thinks. That's how code thinks and works with it. So LLMs are not very good when working directly with data. But if you give them ability to write code and execute code against the data, then it actually can pull out a context for itself that is way much more manageable. And this is the example that I wanted to show you next with data. So let me start a new chat. And I had here a file that, for example, if I would try to give it to Claude, it would just fail. It doesn't allow me to drop. One sec. Demo effect. What the hell? Sorry. Okay, let's try to copy paste or something. So this is too big for it to work with. It's 30 megabytes data set. Instead, what I can do is that I can give it a path now, because we have Desktop Commander, and ask it something like, tell me something interesting about this data, and see what it's gonna do. So it's starting a process. If we're gonna take a look at what is it starting, we're gonna see that it's starting Python. And then it's interacting further with the Python, imports a library for data analysis. It then it's doing some more stuff. In this case, I think it's not installed. So yeah, let's give it a sec to finish the analysis for now. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, so I can take more questions for now. Yes.
Question about, I noticed that it, like what you have shown, it starts with start process. Do you have some specific context on what processes to execute when you ask questions?
We have a little bit of prompting in terms of what can be done. Usually it works with Node or Python to solve its issues, depending on what it thinks it's better. Today we just use the knowledge of the LLMs. We are working also on the library of things that suggested better, like shortcuts to certain solutions in certain cases that we know that users use.
Can I rephrase that question? So
yes.
Basically, is that context what can be done provided in the MCP description? And this is where you, how does Claude thinks, what am I going to do with this? Is your question. So it looks at the MCPs and checks.
So the prompts do influence. There is a prompt from, in this case, there is a prompt from Claude itself that influences how Claude works. In case of Claude Desktop, it usually is oriented on people who don't know what they want. So it's more proactive, more agentic, going too far. Depends on what the use case is. It's better for people less experienced sometimes. People who exactly know what they want to and didn't frame the question correctly, they don't like it when it goes in maybe not direction they wanted to. And then there are our descriptions of tools, but we ourselves are slightly open to a lot of different use cases. The way I structure my work today is usually with projects where I do add a little bit more information depending. Like, for example, here is a project related to working with the code base, but this is my instruction for it in a sense that, hey, that's where the code is, read the README. And in that sense, I actually store most of the context in files these days. Why? Because it actually allows me to transfer it between the tools, plus I can open it in other tools, and so on and so on. I actually prefer not to store my prompts inside of the tools. I prefer to store them in files these days. Actually, this is the wrong one.
A question. For permissions, basically you depend on if I have access on the file on this computer, then the LLM can read it.
You mean restrictions of permissions, you mean? Yeah, we do have allow list as a tool.
You have a file that is where the permissions are set to read only.
Today we only have a list of folders it can access or not, and if you want to have a read-only access, you can turn off individually the tools for writing. in your current workflow. But otherwise, if they are not turned off, it has write and read access to everything, gave access to.
So it depends on basically what access it expects that you on your computer you have access to only the files that you are allowed to access.
I mean, if you are restricted to access, it is restricted as well, if that's what you mean. So I maybe jumped too much from the chat. It actually didn't finish in the record. I will ask again, and maybe we can take a look later. Okay, let's go further for presentation. How much time do we have? Still something like 10 minutes. Okay, so this is MCPs and REST APIs and how they compare to some extent. But one more topic I wanted to share today is what happened with me with using this kind of tools over the last 3 months, and I already showed you to some extent, was the command line interfaces. What's interesting about command line interfaces is that they, by Unix philosophy, they are text in, text out, pipe, filters, and so on. And what's also interesting is that they are written usually not to be solely consumed by applications. They are actually usable by humans, and they are more readable than REST APIs. What this means, they are actually pretty good to be used by LLMs. And to some extent, sometimes even better than MCPs. And what I found myself doing over the months is that when I needed to integrate with some kind of a system, I sometimes reach out and ask it to find or create a CLI, command line interface, to connect to that system for myself instead of looking for MCP. Why? Because then I can ask it to customize it in ways that you cannot customize MCPs exactly for your workflows. Because MCPs, they're frozen. It's like a separate API, and when you're using them, you cannot run code against them or anything. You cannot wrap them. You're just using them the way the developer intended. While when it's done this way, when you're using CLIs and code and customizing for your workflows, you're basically allowing LLM to add a layer to customize to your needs. For example, there is Atlassian MCP. When you ask it to edit a document that rewrites it in full, what happens when the AI rewrites document in full? It adds a lot of hallucinations while you ask to change the title. While doing it through their CLI, it can actually write for itself ability to patch the document instead of rewriting the whole thing. With MCP from Atlassian, you will be waiting for them to fix that. With this, you can actually modify, ask AI modify for you to do your things. And over the months, like me and my team are using various products, and we made a lot of integrations to, for example, these things to work with them. For example, here at Tally, it's something like Google Forms. And I could be sitting and implementing a feature with in-product surveys, and I can be in the same context and the same tool, know everything about the survey we'll be asking, everything about the language of that survey, everything about the code where it's going to be implemented, and also have access to Trello card and allow AI to know why the hell is it even being done about. So it's a way to do a context engineering through CLIs and MCPs so that AI better understands the problem you're actually solving. And one example I wanted to show was BigQuery, where we do have anonymous telemetry. Let me quickly see what happened with the data. So you can see that it did a lot of analysis and said that, okay, so this is the data set. It has 270,000 records. It's about Olympic game athletes for like over 100 years, and pulled a bunch of interesting things like what are like ranges. And the oldest athlete is John Quincy Adams, 97 years old, participating in art competitions. Interesting that Olympics had that. But anyways, this is, I actually checked, if you drop this file into Gemini that has 1 million context, it shows that this file has 16 million tokens. So no LLM in existence today can work with it directly. And even if it could, it wouldn't be able to pull up this kind of information. The only reason it happened is because it wrote code for itself to analyze and find interesting things. So that's about the data part. Now we can try to do a query. So I have a project that has access to almost all of my stuff, and I can ask it, there is BigQuery CLI folder. Take a look of how to use it. Pull information for me about most popular client names that are using us. So I have a folder on my machine that is shared with my colleagues. We have a bunch of directories there about user interviews, about the data, about all kinds of stuff. So we can pull and context engineer for any problem, I don't know, answers, use cases, other things. And we have CLIs in there that allow us to pull the information. So currently what it does is listing the folder with CLI. It's checking the README of how to use it. It's basically compiling a context for itself how to use the BigQuery CLI. And now it's actually creating a query it's going to try to run. You can see it here. And now it tries to run it. I'm not sure I'm logged in. We're going to see if it's going to ask me to log in. But basically, this is how, okay, so actually I'm logged in, I think. Yeah, it did pull the data. And now we can see it's going to tell us a little bit about the clients at some point. So top most popular clients that use us, we have MCP, we have no idea who that is. I'm now in Cloud Desktop, this is Cloud Desktop. Yeah, Cursor, Cloud Code, Docker, yeah, some people use it from Docker, some Visual Studio Code users. Most of the users are like here for us. So this is how we can pull any kind of information from our telemetry to understand what's happening in our product currently if we have questions. So I actually published the code for this thing on GitHub, and one thing then I wanted to mention here was that I think the most powerful takeaway from me here is that I don't like the word agents. I don't know what it means. But when it comes to an LLM that has access to writing and executing code against the multiple sources of data, that actually starts to look like some kind of an agent. And I did mention at the start that it's somewhat about knowledge work. And what I meant by this was that today we do market research like this, we do analytics research, we kind of like compile a lot of sources of context to find insights and solutions. Basically, we're helping AI to get into the context this way. And why is it interesting? Like if you will check later, I have a video link that you can listen. The name of the video is not good. What is more interesting about the video, I pulled a couple of quotes. So in this podcast, they speak with the founder of a small company, not too many people. And what they speak about is that they are kind of trying to be AI first, where every time they have a repeatable work, they spend time to automate it with this kind of systems. In fact, they even have a person they call head of AI operations whose sole purpose in the company is that people come to him or he looks for people for their repeatable use cases, they automate it, and then it compounds because now they don't need to do it again, and AI helps them. And this is something that's happening at least for 3 months. Now people are speaking about it more and more, and companies are starting to hire all kinds of like AI operations people who help them to use AI to automate this kind of thing. One of my hypotheses about this, of how it looks like, is that it feels like AI unlocks for us ability to do what we did with manual work during Industrial Revolution. We made factories where everything is somewhat automated. Now we can do it with knowledge work. But it's early. We are like in 70s, 80s of computers in this regard. So yeah, well, we are, by the way, starting hiring in September probably. So if any one of you is interested in working those kind of things, find me on LinkedIn. Also, yeah, QR code of my LinkedIn. But if you already took the presentation, you will be able to find it. And we also have some people using us for DevOps. We have some prompts and use cases we can share. So if any one of you is interested, we have a small like survey, and we will share with you, and you can actually contact us if you have any questions. So this is all I had, and maybe you have questions. Yes.
I have a question about authentication. So
yes.
Like many services probably some kind of authorization. How does like authentication keeping tokens work?
Yeah, so in case of BigQuery example I was showing, they have their own CLI that has OAuth authentication. If you're running it locally, you're just logging in the browser and it works. In theory, any CLI could be made to work like this. Some of them would require API keys. Slack is a weird one. You will require to make your own bot. but we have connection to Slack as well as one of the experiments. But largely, it's similar to APIs. You have OAuth or API key-based authentications. Yes?
I'm actually wondering about the costs. Like, how are you optimizing the cost when you're using this much of different tools? Because most probably you're using multiple different APIs and other tools that is requiring you to pay some kind of service fee. How we can keep
So that is a very painful question for whole industry. In this case, we are using one interesting thing that actually happened by now already is that there are CLI, they allow to authenticate with them, and you're using the subsidized cost by the providers. In this case, we are using ourselves internally Claude. Claude has the same thing. Probably, in my view, Claude is the most generous thing. I think the cost gonna go up. They're just competing for the market. Google actually have free use wherever, but they are spying on you. That's actually part of their free offer. Actually, OpenAI also now has a program with free tokens, but caveat in that they are also doing this because they're spying on your use cases. There are local models. I'm not a big fan today yet. They're getting better, but you need to have expensive machines. It's cheaper to buy the tokens from the cloud. And so, yeah, this is problematic. We know that our use cases are expensive, so for now I would not say that something went wrong. I would not advise it using on paid, depends. One example on the industry is Klein, usually used with APIs. It's known for being expensive. There are certain type of people in certain use cases that are happy to pay those thousands because it's actually solving them business problems. So it's a complex, fragmented situation. Okay. I guess.
Question.
Okay.
So basically the main selling point of MCPs is the reduced context window lengths when working.
No, they are not about this. They are about efficiently sharing context with LLMs, but efficiently. Yeah. Okay. So I understand now your question now. I wouldn't say that this is an intrinsic feature of MCPs, but due to them being an APIs for LLMs, this is what developers of MCPs end up doing. While for REST APIs, they usually don't do it. I would say in 99% of cases.
Yes, question about what are the most useful MCPs for you currently?
Well, I do like Bright Data for internet research because they are scraping and can get data that OpenAI or Claude cannot get. Bright Data, it's a web scraping tool, and they have their own MCP. It's pretty good for internet research of certain types. So I myself don't use it, but I know some other popular. So Desktop Commander, obviously, I use it for a lot of different types of work. One other type I know that is pretty interesting, at least for developers, is called Context 7, and it's a way to get up-to-date documentation for anything code-related into context, and then the LLM better understands how to use the latest versions of libraries. So that's, for example, is kind of popular one.
All right, so save up your questions for the break. You will have the chance to see Edwards later on as well. So give a hearty applause for our presenter today. Present for us. All right, so, but we are not done yet. You will have to hold out just a little bit before the break. Oh. And almost, yes, and we have our lightning talk time. So, for the lightning talk, we have Aldis Greitāns with his lightning talk. Welcome, and the stage is yours.
Hello, there is always some uncomfortable feeling staying between you and Ray. So I will try to be as short as possible. On me. Yep. So you know that every speech, every talk should start with some sort of catch. And I'm not the most creative person, so I had problems to create a catch for my speech, so I agreed with guys that they will misspell my last name. My name is Aldis Greitāns, and I'm assistant professor at Riga Business School of Riga Technical University. And I'm invited today to speak about situation with artificial intelligence in universities, in high schools. So, okay, some people already are finding this topic fun. Okay, so it started all back in late 22 when OpenAI launched publicly ChatGPT. It was November, December. I think you remember it better than me. So in the beginning of 23, administration and faculty in actually all the universities all around the world started discussing what to do with that thing, because they suddenly noticed that some students have significant improvements in writing their assignments, and especially good improvements in math. So can you guess what was the first idea? Forbid it to the hell. Yeah. Not cut the internet, that's already impossible, but basically the first idea, of course, was forbid the use of artificial intelligence at all. There were a lot of guys around which were selling tools, how to catch up the artificial things written by artificial intelligence. Naturally, it didn't work. And because students have been cheating since the beginning of written history. Yeah. Excuse me?
Write assignments on site in university.
Oh, there are some tricks actually. Not some tricks, but some big limitations, by the way. Yeah? Scare them. Well, I'm still quite strong guy, but you know, some guys are more physical than me.
Similar questions, but different than the ones that are most popular.
Yep, we can discuss this over the virtual pizza in the break. So, okay, somewhere in the beginning of 23, probably beginning of 24, universities came to the conclusion if you cannot beat it, you should join it. And that's the current state right now. Basically, universities are still thinking how to join this in the best way. And in a way, my personal journey with artificial intelligence sort of reminds what's going on, all this history. In December 22, I checked into ChatGPT. I decided that this is another version of Google and forgot about it. Closer to March, in a bachelor's class, there were roughly 60 first-year bachelors in the class. I made a joke about use of ChatGPT, and I found out that out of those 70 persons, 3 or 4 know what is ChatGPT. The rest doesn't know. Yeah. But then it escalates, actually. After the summer break, when the new bachelor class came in, we discovered that, oh, well, okay, those guys are using this tool, at least this tool extensively. They are writing great assignments. And when you are trying to discuss those assignments with them, they just don't understand what they read. This is how it's working. So what universities are trying to do today, basically, they are somehow trying to regulate. I'm talking about guidelines and rules and things like this. I've seen quite a few university guidelines about use of artificial intelligence, and it varies. It really varies. There are a lot of universities which don't have guidelines, any rules about artificial intelligence. For instance, my alma mater, Riga Technical University, still has nothing. It's somewhere in pipeline, I've heard, but it has nothing. Riga RSU, Stradiņš University, they have comparably good, at least that's my subjective opinion, comparably good guidelines. Guidelines of Latvia University are written by the guys from Faculty of Philosophy. So basically, yeah, it should be about how to use it, how to integrate this into the process, and so on, but still there's quite a lot of stuff in those regulations, those guidelines are talking about ethics, cybersecurity, data protection, and other, let's say, things which today are pretty much abstract, especially to students. So, the next step in my personal journey came in late summer 23. I was participating in one project, and we had to write some papers for that project. And I've never been very good at writing. Actually, I'm better with Excel than with humans and all this literature stuff. But you know, probably some of you know how those papers for EU projects should be written. They should be long. And a lot of special terminology should be used there. So that was pain, even not in lower bottom, but tooth pain for me. And I remembered our students, and I decided to go the same way. I went to ChatGPT. Oh, God. That was good. That was good. I found out that there is something in there. And we wrote those papers. We got our money, a couple of millions, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, there are such amounts in the world. They exist, believe me. I have seen them in account of technical university. Well, and I forgot again about this. And then later on, that was autumn semester, I was reading sort of strategy. Basically, the idea of the course is that I'm reading about modern things in strategy to master students at Riga Technical University. And basically, I had an in-class exercise where those guys had to search for some data about one particular company. Okay, that particular company, by the way, is Evolution Gaming. For some reasons, I like that company. No, I'm not gambling. Basically, I like this because of its IT side. Yeah, I know quite a few guys from IT there, and actually I've been teaching some of them. Yeah, and I divided the class into 4 groups, and I told, okay, guys, find the information. There is a website of Evolution Gaming, and prepare your hypothesis about business model of the company. And at that moment, I even don't know, that was some sort of idea fix. I thought, okay, you can use AI tools to write it, but just show me the prompts. In what you're submitting to me, you should disclose me your prompts. Well, and it worked. There was one group which didn't use artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, I don't know. And their submission was quite good. There was one group which used AI, and their submission was excellent. And can you guess why? Because those guys knew in details what is business model. They were able to write good prompt, good focused, specialized prompt, structured prompt. One group was good. Basically, they were using this sort of chain prompting, questioning, and at least I was sure that they learned something in the process. And one group was sort of close to failure. They just prompted that, okay, what is the business model of Evolution Gaming? And, you know. Yeah, and at that moment, actually, my interest in using artificial intelligence in learning process started. I understood that basically this allows such a boring person as me to be interesting to students. Yeah. So what's going on? So current state, students are still cheating. Students are still cheating, and honestly, it's at most of them at quite primitive level. Yeah, basically, there is the idea as, for instance, quiz is dead. It's totally dead because those quizzes were automated in high school platforms. It's just useless. Even more quizzes, there are guys which are telling, okay, we should print out those quizzes and they should solve, answer those quizzes in written. Basically, check the right answer, multiple choice quizzes. It's dead. unless you confiscate mobile phones. And they are, you know, they can make a picture of the question with the answers, upload this to ChatGPT, tell that read an answer, and it answers. So basically, students are still trying to cheat. So faculty, the professors, those are divided in 3 parts. First of all, conservatives. Yeah, you can guess. Actually, high schools are most conservative institutions in the world, by the way, from point of view of teaching, of course. So there are conservatives which are telling that this should be forbidden, and we probably even cut out internet should cut out internet in university. How it's possible, I don't know, but
there are devices.
There are devices. Okay, don't tell this to administration. Yeah, and those guys are everything should be in paper. Tests should be handwritten in paper. We should collect mobile phones, all the electronic devices, including smartwatches, before the class. Blah blah. And literally yesterday, I had discussion with one of such guys who was telling, "Oh, everything is paper, handwritten. It doesn't matter that those guys cannot write by hand anymore, so handwritten." Then there are opportunists, basically faculty guys which are using some tools basically to write something, so case by case. And then there are enthusiasts. Basically those guys who are trying to create something new, who are trying to innovate. And as you can guess, basically this is a minority. This is minority, and I recently noticed there are several serious institutions in the world which are publishing books for business schools, basically business and economic education. And in Harvard Business Publishing, there are about 10 guys who are writing about this topic. Yeah. In Pearson, which is another institution, it's about the same. Really creative guys which are sort of pushing the science of teaching with the tools ahead. So another current state basically is that universities, first of all, are thinking how to automate administrative tasks. Good luck, guys. If you don't have well-documented processes, if you don't understand your processes, just go ahead. Yeah, the results will be like dodgy of this Elon Musk. Yeah, results will be about the same. Yeah, and then basically it's about grading systems and then things like that. So just to finish, basically the situation is like this. First of all, there are attempts to use artificial intelligence to automate teaching processes, preparation of teaching materials, and probably automating some things which are happening in classroom. Yeah. Quite good, basically it increases efficiency, it is fun for students, but then there is one more thing. As low as this said, there are unknown things that we do not know. Unknown unknowns. And this is the innovation window for faculty of universities. We can create, with usage of artificial intelligence, we can create materials, we can create classroom activities, things like this, just we cannot imagine yet. This is the current state. But basically, still, universities are in the transition, and the transition will take long. It's my personal opinion. So, and universities they finally should start having AI strategy and AI plans.
All right.
So, questions over, one question, but the rest over virtual pizza.
So previous year, RBS started the course about AI. So was it about, with the context you provided, so is it about how to write assignments with AI?
No, it's AI strategy course taught by Igor Rodin, who is sort of at least regional guru in that. No, seriously, in that thing. He is from Deloitte. Yeah, I think from Deloitte, still practicing. But this is more about how strategy for companies. And he is teaching what are those fields where companies can apply artificial intelligence tools to let's say, increase efficiency, probably in product development and things like this. It's not exactly about AI tools. It's more like a general thing. It's for top managers, mostly for top managers. Just yesterday in Riga Business School popped up idea that probably we should have an introductory course, AI tools in studying process. We should create this type of course, and right now I'm not trying to show up there because this will probably fall in my hands. I don't want yet extra job. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you. Very much. A long gift from us as well. So thank you very much, Aldis Greitāns, for the presentation. And yes, now we come to the part that everybody's been waiting for, the break. Just for us to get back into the mood of doing stuff. So join either from here or I hope it works as I think it works, because okay. I hope this isn't the one where it shows which is the correct answer, because I don't know how to use this. So, is everyone in who wanted to be in? Let's give it a good 20 seconds and then we go. "37 people. Okay. You get a prize actually if you get first place, so I hope Traktorists wins. Okay, 20 seconds up. Let's get into it. So, when did the previous meetup take place? And the majority voted for June. And that's correct. Who is powering today's meetup as partners and sponsors?
Microsoft computer, yeah?
This one, yeah. Okay. And the correct answer is yes. 0 for Microsoft. No trust in Microsoft at all, I see. So, next one. If you want to keep the discussion going after tonight, what Slack channel do you join? The vast majority is not correct. Yes. Because the Slack channel has a different name. If someone couldn't make it here in person, where could they watch us live today? Will this be correct? Okay, and you voted for YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. And it's YouTube and LinkedIn. Okay. 3 voices, 3 talks. Which 3 speakers are on stage this evening? And the name here is correct. Okay. And these are the correct answers. Okay, so leaderboard currently, Edwards, #1. Beating. And everyone got the one for about our Slack channel wrong, didn't they?
No.
What magical animal is proudly featured in our logo? Unicorn. Who thought it's a griffin?
Sorry.
You didn't have to confess. It was rhetorical. What is the official website of DevOps and AI Latvia? And yes, the vast majority is correct. Next one. What is the total number of events held as of today? '27 is correct. So, approximately how many members does our community have on meetup.com? That's why Uldis said the numbers. Even I don't know. Okay, very close. Let's see which is correct. Around 1,600 members. Last question. How many stars does our community shine with on Meetup? .7 is the leader in the public opinion, and it's correct. Let's see our S1.
It's me.
Oh, it's you. Oh, cool. And you get a prize. And you get a prize from us. Well done.
Thank you.
Alrighty. So, the quiz is done.
Don't close it.
Don't close it.
Gifts.
We have more gifts.
Who was on the 2nd place? That's for you. Who was on the 3rd place? I hope I'm not lying. Yeah, that's it. We're out of gifts, right? Who wants a little red ball? Yes, you get one, we're out of both.
Two gifts.
Double gifts. Perfect.
That's what you get for winning.
Okay. Who has been to the Riga Tech dinner? Yes, you can go to the next one. Who? Could you please raise your hand if you have been to the Riga Tech dinner? A few, like 3 or 4 people. Okay. What did you like about the Riga Tech dinner? You.
Yeah, community and smart talks.
Okay, and community and smart talks. One hand was somewhere here. What did you like about Riga Tech dinner?
Well, Uldis usually collects a lot of people, and especially speakers, who is like CEOs or company leaders, and they talk about how they got to that place, and they share their stories, and we also eat. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, and there's fantastic food, indeed. So, to be honest, I didn't know this person a year ago, but I didn't know a lot of people 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I knew only, it doesn't matter. Do you know who is this guy? There's Andrea, who knows everyone, so that doesn't count. And everyone knows him. If you don't know Andrea, then he knows you, most probably. Actually, he's amazing. He's kind of on a world top talent list. He has been teaching public speech and presentations and whatnot to world-class leaders around the world. He's amazing. At the same time, he's a humble human being, happy to come also talk with us at the Riga Tech dinner. And then, who knows this amazing person, Elsa Preda. Twice as much people. And I'll be honest with you, I know Kristaps better than Elsa, and she has built the Novatore Club, and I hear there's a conference and it's a community, so she's gonna tell us all about it. There's also a digital platform. I don't know, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I can't wait to see her on September 30th. Of course, you can find this event on the meetup.com platform. It is there, it hasn't been announced, but then we do have our secret club, the WhatsApp secret club. You can find it published everywhere. It's very secret. Do not spam there, but you can join the group to be the first ones to hear about Riga Tech Dinner when it's happening. Because, well, for today, there's gonna be a day when if you're not on that WhatsApp group, then you're too late to get a seat. That day is coming. Yeah, so welcome, join the group. If you like to, do not spam there. People don't like spamming there. People get kicked out for spamming there. And we move on to our all-time best speaker from the government, because I think the first one official representative from a government.
But it's not in the official capacity, right?
I don't know. No comment. I'm learning to speak like in the government. No comment. But then Jānis is not here because he's from the government. The government is watching, yes. But then some people connected me. But basically, some people sent me Jānis' presentation, and I was like, yes, let's get him. So here we go. Here's Jānis. He has the microphone.
Yes, hello everybody. I think I haven't done so late a presentation about something, but that's my first time. And also, I think this kind of presentation will be kind of different from what you have seen before, more like about solutions. I won't go in very deep touch. I will show what we have done, what we are thinking, how we are thinking, and maybe you will have some questions about how you can work with the government. And I'm not here as in official capacity, but still I have official slides like in government we need to do. And some, what I will talk about old AI technologies, some integrations, complex integrations, and also a new approach to access to information. But of course, I need to give you some about slides. And first of all, about me, I have a bachelor in e-commerce and also a master in business administration. I've been working in Culture Information System Center since very kind of 21 years away. Many of you could ask why I'm doing that, but my answer is that it's very interesting because times are changing, technologies are changing. I've been involved in early start of developing information systems for cultural sector. I have seen how the library is connected to the internet from nothing there, and now there is free Wi-Fi everywhere, and so on. I personally have done migration from servers under the desk to the cloud. We are using the best cloud technologies now, so I have a lot of experience in government sector, and also I represent Latvia in different user and expert groups in European Commission. So that's my experience. Of course, that's not, the job is not the only thing I am doing in my free time. I'm cycling. Past 4 years, I'm spending around 40 days in National Guards, and that takes time. But as I'm saying, I'm working in Culture Information System Center. Some context to that, we are the institution under the Ministry of the Culture. We are now around 60 people. We manage the centralized infrastructure for the Ministry of the Culture. We oversee around 4,000 laptops and PCs. We manage more than 500 servers. We have tens of information systems, and that's our everyday job. I imagine if you have been ever in Latvian public library or museum or archive, you have been in touch in some way with our job we are doing every day. So switching to today's topic, I imagine when you ask your neighbor or friend, which is not IT, what is AI? Most of the people will answer it's ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini or something like that. But my answer is that in Culture Information Systems, we started with AI, and now I'm calling that old AI to people to understand that we started with neural machine translation in 2018, in the end of 2018, and that was like first of AI, which is not the AI which we are knowing today. And this machine translation was one of the first steps to use modern technologies, not statistical machine translation. And currently, the system translates around 500 million words every year and is integrated in many government information systems. I know that you will ask why the government needs that machine translation for themselves. Is there's a Google Translate Bing, but the most common answer is that security. Even European Commission uses their own machine translations. They don't send data away, especially for the Google Translate. Of course, for every day we can use ChatGPT, Google Translate, and something else. Other AI tools which we developed and integrated in government was chatbots. Yes, they are old at this moment, but we launched them at 2019. That's almost 6 years ago. And they use natural language processing, and they understand what people are chatting with them, but of course they are using older technologies. I will tell you in the next slides that what we are doing to start to use newer technologies, but you can understand that in government it's not that easy to switch to the newest technologies as fast as possible, because there are procurements, we have technical requirements, and many of the systems are integrated in large scale, and it's not that easy. But still, it's 2019, we launched the first chatbots in government, and I think we made some impact how the citizens are using the chatbots, but now they are more demanding, of course, and they are asking us the newer technologies, and we are working on that. The other AI technologies which are behind in many of the government websites is speech-to-text. It's text-to-speech is also using neural networks to synthesize the text and make information available for the users which better understand listening, not reading. And that's done automatically on our platform using all the AI technologies. Okay. Then, as we know that ChatGPT and large language models came in our everyday, and as we had virtual assistants platform, we needed to help chatbot trainers to do some things faster. Of course, that's still, you see, that's kind of old technology that we needed to build intents for. We needed to build questions what our users are asking. But at the 2023, we launched the integration with Azure OpenAI service to suggest more questions to help chatbot trainers to work on that training the virtual assistants. Also, some smaller integration was also for making the answers which are shorter, longer, formal, or friendly. And one thing I think in our case, in our virtual assistant, is very good that the answers are tailored by users. They are not made automatically, and for government, it's kind of a bit of a trust. Because the user would like to get the best answer from the government and trusted answer, not answer from ChatGPT, which sometimes compiles something which is not very true. So in our case, the answers will be always user-made, but in our case, the virtual assistants will not always understand what you are asking them. That's our case which we are working on. And going further, there's a large user group, and also we know that government is writing very difficult texts, sometimes large texts. That's, I don't know, that's a code of the government. And it's sometimes very, it's not easy to read at all the text, and we built some tool which integrates also Azure OpenAI service and use some prompts to shorten the text. And that's kind of funny because we can already to start write shorter text, but still we are writing longer text and then we are shortening them. And for example, this is one larger information about one prize, and there's a sample how it shortens. Of course, if the user knows how to use ChatGPT, he can do that in their laptop or website and something, but we offer this as a service for government, and they can implement that in their information systems or websites and so on. So it's not that like you for every citizen they can use, but more for government to integrate that. In the same time, we offer that as a service for everyone. Going to more difficult and newer AI technologies, as I mentioned, we have around, in Ministry of Culture, in whole institutions, we have around 4,000 users. And we provide centralized ICT support. We use Atlassian Jira for centralized support, but still we have a lot of common questions which comes in. I don't know how to log in some website, how to change my password or something like that. And we built a bit complex chatbot, which use different kind of technologies at this moment, and it works on the Microsoft Teams, because the Teams for Ministry of Culture is and Office 365 is a main tool, and it uses the Hugo and Tilde and Azure AI technologies to provide different integrations and answers. For example, every user has this bot available, and we are providing the bot with some kind of information which are, for example, we provide the bot with information about how to log in different information systems, but when you ask something for this bot, it works with large language models. It gives you back the answer which is compiled from our information and the large language models. And in the same time, it offers the user to use our centralized support platform. But if the user can't or don't want to use that platform, they can ask the bot to make this problem issue to ask the bot to fill up all information and to put that in our centralized support platform. So it works like with large language models at this moment, and Azure OpenAI technologies to compile everything, and user don't need to go to the centralized support, and they can get the answer here. Yes, okay, that's not the right slide. And the latest and the most difficult project for us was how to work with large scale of, I would say, similar information. This is our old National Museum catalog, and we have 137 museums here, and in whole collections we have more than 6 million items, and digitized items are more than 2 million, and digitized images are more than 1 million. So it's a huge amount of the information which we need to work on. And if you have ever visited some catalogs, mostly they are like simple search or that detailed search. And it's not that easy to find that information if you don't know what you would like to find, because there is a lot of information. You can search in museums for, I don't know, ways, some paintings and some other things. But if you don't know, that's kind of difficult. And we try to make it different, tried to use new AI technologies, and we built a dialogue or chat search. Unfortunately, if you will visit that, it will not work today because we are recovering from cyber attack from recent days, but I think that in tomorrow it will be available. But the idea is that you chat with the objects. You ask the full question, you see that there are already some suggestions. You can just write, show me the pictures with the paintings where are some summer or sun showed there. And the system will use AI integration with large language models, and indexed information, and that's what is written there. It's compiled by large language model. It's made automatically based on the results which the system sees. And the next thing what you can do is you can chat further. For example, you can create a story about these objects in a funny way. Of course, I don't know if the users will be asking that, but that's one of the kind you can ask based on the results. And another example is more like if you are a teacher, you can create a study plan for grade A for 35 minutes based on these records. I think there could be more different questions and different scenarios what you can ask as a user, how you work with the results and find that information what you need. And that's an example how it looks like when you open the one example of the artwork or some objects. And a bit about the technologies, what we are using. We are using at this moment GPT-4o available through Azure OpenAI. We use Azure AI search capabilities, and for better results, we are sending all of the images, which is not copyright protected at this moment, to the Azure AI Vision service, which is describing the images. And that helps us for the better results, because when you are a museum administrator, you don't have always the time to describe all the things which you can see with your eyes in the images. And there are some different techniques what you are describing. So, of course, AI vision helps to describe better, and we use that information for better understanding, for better search of the results. And of course, it costs money for the government, it costs money for you, but as in culture, it's always, we are like spending the money, because this culture doesn't earn that kind of money, but we need to show that digital records and digital things which is available everywhere. And the last slide from me is about challenges and opportunities. In our case, of course, expenses is one of the main topic for us. We have tested and compared standard and provisioned PTUs from Microsoft, from Azure AI. You can ask why we are using Microsoft at this moment. It's the fastest possible way at this moment. We are looking that we can later use some other models which we can run in our infrastructure. But when we started the project, there was not possible to use that models on our infrastructure. But we can switch to them later. But the fastest way to do some new things is to use already offered infrastructure. Security also is, for government, is always important, and we use services which is restricted to our tenant. Of course, big time we use it to check the results, and that's a confidence in the results, because you can ask a lot of questions from, and that's how the LLMs understand what you are asking, how it compares what you are getting back, and that took a lot of time for us to understand the best prompts and how we get the best results. Also, we spend a lot of time switching back and forth from one model to other model. Of course, now it's GPT-5, but we still use GPT-4o, but we also tested GPT-4o mini. The results were not that good, and we switched back to this model. Also, what I could say from our experience that when we are a customer for developers, we are asking the new things. It's also new experience for developers, and it's they also are learning and doing some tests and studying how to better approach our technical requirements, because we are asking them to build that, but it's not always that easy. In our case, it was a big assistance from Microsoft. They offered their resources to help to build better products. And also we are always discussing with our colleagues need to have or nice to have feature, because with AI you can build a lot of things, but we need to ask ourselves, do we need that, or maybe we don't build that. So those are our challenges and opportunities. But in our case, as we are working with language technologies for more than 10 years, I see that language technologies and now LLMs, they are evolving so fast that for government it's not that easy to catch up always. And we need to also ask, do we need to catch up? But there are a lot of requirements from other government institutions that they would like to use in-house or run on their own servers. They don't want to give the data away. So it's always that kind of we need to choose what we need to do. But I didn't mention about this catalog that we will open source it. We will publish all the code, I think, in November or December, and that will be available for everyone. Also, the language technologies which we are using also will be published as a free open source software. But this catalog will be definitely one of the first which we will publish, and you can check that later how we build that technically. My and our organization's idea is to be as open as possible in the next years, and to show what we have done, and also to provide information for developers and everyone which is involved. Thank you.
We do have time for questions, so well, for a few, right?
No questions.
I'm sure there is some questions. There's one on the back.
Yeah.
On the very back.
Yeah. I would like to ask how you can prevent some user basically start sending thousands of messages and start like, because there are going to be costs, and if I sit and create some kind of basic automation, I can keep the system always in use, and it can be like really not cost effective from your side. How do you prevent this from like some of the user or some of the citizen not doing this? What are the steps that you took to stop this?
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing that good, but maybe yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, you are using some API sources and spending money.
Yeah.
Even if you don't use, there are some costs. And if some user starts like does some really simple automation and start using the system all the time or repeating some questions, and this gonna affect the costs, how do you prevent this?
I understand that. We currently implemented some restrictions on the queries from IPs, but if we will be switching, currently this museum catalog especially is public beta, so we are paying as we are going for all the requests, but we will be switching to PTUs, which has kind of fixed price for the month and fixed requests at that moment which the PTU can run. So if it will I don't know, there will be too much requests, it will like stop answering that at that.
Then second question for that is, if some of the users start sending so much questions, basically your machine will fail and other users who need it won't be able to use.
Yeah, but we will limit like ChatGPT does it in public. When you are a public user, you can ask some kind of questions, I don't know, some 5 or 6, and that's it. Then you need to log in, and that will be a limitation for the users at that moment. But Yeah, that's a question for one of the main topics is expenses, of course. So we are looking that we can run some models in our infrastructure, and then will be limitation of the infrastructure, not of the cost of the. But in the same way, it helps us to faster evolve. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to understand what are your metrics of success. What is your success?
Can you speak louder? Sorry.
So I'm trying to understand what are your metrics of success or your goals in this stuff. In the sense that you're providing this service from the government as a public service and you're releasing to open source. What is it that you are achieving?
We provide, but how do you mean from?
Well, I mean you're developing this kind of technologies. You're providing it to the users for what are like metrics of success for you. Like you're enabling Latvian citizens to know more. In this case, know more about what kind of art stuff is in the museums. What is the goal of it?
Maybe I can add an example metric would be your system is used by 80% of the users you have in your system. That would be kind of metric.
Yeah, I need to think on this question.
What he asks is what's the main purpose of Hugo.lv, like its existence, like what's the main why government is interested in
I try to answer that question that the government, for example, it's cheaper, not the cheap. Maybe sometimes it's cheaper, sometimes it's not cheaper, but the government has a lot of information systems. They need to provide different languages for different users. For example, if you don't understand Latvian, they need to translate, for example, e-services. But that costs more to manually translate that e-services information than automatically. And the discussion was always, is machine translation is better as is or no translation? So we provide as a service for government institutions, and I don't know if it's cheaper if we compare all the costs, but for government, we have a central point, and they don't use Google Translate. They don't use Bing at this moment. Because that's also, they are sending, we know some institutions which are sending data away, which don't want to send data away outside of Latvia, for example. But we will provide that machine translation as a module you can install everywhere on your servers and so on. So that.
But I think it's like accessibility to information. Like, for example, with the museum, you provide to students who want to find some information, they are more accessible to find it and query much larger databases as well. So I think one of the KPIs would be that the usage of information has increased and people who are accessing it are able to access more of the data faster.
Yeah, of course, the people who access will be KPI, but we are looking that I didn't mention because my focus was more on AI technologies, but we will we'll provide full API for everything what's available through that museum catalog. So we are looking that museums could start to develop or integrate in their expositions, for example, that connect physical world with digital world, because that's one of the goals. But we were looking before on what are the most common challenge for the users that they don't know what to search. We needed to help them. And the most common is like they write 1 or 2 words. But as you can imagine, the information systems and search can give you the best answer on that. So we try to combine that. And we hope that there will be more users.
Last question? Me. Uldis. Me. Can you tell us a little about the cyber attack which you mentioned? Was it at the AI or was it typical website attack? You said that this is not available right now. You had an attack, now it's off.
We had a cyber attack which was, it did bad things to our servers, and we have a connection with one database servers. That's why it's that our new platform is not working at this moment.
So what was it? A DDoS kind of from the wall to millions of messages and then text?
No. That was not related to this new portal. It's related to different servers, and it kind of switched off a connection between database and this new portal. So we trying to rebuild, and I think that tomorrow it will be available.
Okay, but what would happen if a million IP communities are there? Let's say 100,000 IPs at the same time send a text to that chatbot. Different IPs from different places of the world. What would happen?
Hopefully our data center will block that. Because we have a protection from data center from DDoS, so I hope that it will be blocked at that moment. But yes, because that's like a kind of public beta, we haven't published the information about that. That's like kind of smaller events or some, we just send out information that you can just test. So we will do a more bigger event on that when we finish our product.
All right. If anyone has more questions, feel free to do it afterwards in the big area. Well, this is bigger, I guess, but in the other area. So thank you very much, Jānis, for the presentation. A small gift from us. So, for today, we are done. Thank you for your attendance. Well, not done. The presentations are done. Yes. And if you would be so kind and leave us feedback so we would know how to improve in the future. What did you like? So, what do you mean no access?
No, just forms. Okay. But that's great. It's a trick.
Really?
It's
you want to like get our emails, right? Google accounts.
No.
We want to check what you're gonna do if you see a problem. Are you proactive people? You know, there's a lot of people, they see a problem and then they just go away. So you're amazing. But there is another option which you will receive in your mailbox automatically. We don't really know how it works. It's magic. It's AI. From the meetup.com. Or if it doesn't send you an email, then please open the meetup.com, open the event and click provide feedback or whatever you see the button. And please provide us more feedback about this event particularly. Yeah, that would be amazing. We're actually going through those lists and reading them and then saying if you enjoyed the event and gave us 4 stars, then probably don't come back. It's a joke and it's not. Yeah, so waiting for your feedbacks. That would be amazing.
Oh, you okay. So I fucked up a bit. Then I guess you need to request access for me to.
And he's collecting emails.
No, I pressed the not. Anyways, there will be a thing later then. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So that explains it.
Well, I hope you liked it.
So about the very last part, I don't really remember what each icon means. amazing person, Liane, I think, created this design and didn't leave us an instruction. She's having a great time. Yeah, doesn't matter. And then what we do at the last part is, if you have heard about method or practice called masterminds, then this is a little bit like it. Sometimes we do it, sometimes if people don't show up, then we don't do it. Maybe people just want to go in the back room and just talk with each other. I'll facilitate a little mastermind if you want to. I'll be on the sofa. If you're not interested, then don't come. What's gonna happen there? It's you talk. It's about you, about how others can help you. So if you have something on your mind, come talk. Let's see what happens. Yeah.
And that's it. Thank you.